Hello and welcome to Ticket to Life. This is Henrie. And if you are new to listening to Ticket to Life, I will talk about anything and everything that life throws at you. And I do mean anything. Also, want to let everyone know if you want to share a story or be interviewed about your life and your job, I am always open to it. Just send me an email to tickettolife022@gmail.com and tell me your story. We can use your name, we can change your name, but everyone does have a story to share. So this podcast will be aired if you literally have nothing to do other than hear me and share your Thanksgiving Day with me. It's Thanksgiving. It is November 27th. And it is Thanksgiving Day. Now, just to let you know, this is pre-recorded by a few days. Let's say one day. But anyway, I wanted to get this out here. And I want to wish all of you listeners that celebrate Thanksgiving and say Happy Thanksgiving. And for those of you who around the world who do not celebrate Thanksgiving, I will tell you anyway that I am thankful for you. So, today we're going to be talking about why is forgiving so hard. I figured that was an appropriate thing to talk about. Forgiving. Forgiving is such a hard thing to do, but we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. And I'll tell you what I learned about forgiving. A lot of people will not be with family or friends because they are upset with them and one or the other could not forgive the other. But we're going to talk about that in just a minute. First of all, I need to let everyone know that, my disclaimer. I am not a therapist. I'm not a love guru. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a life coach. I am a child of God. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a friend. I'm a sister. And pretty much that's who I am. And if you hear anything on any of these podcasts that you can you can listen to all these podcasts wherever podcasts are streamed. I'm pretty sure I'm on it. But anyway, these are just my opinions and these are just my thoughts. And sometimes it could be dangerous if you take some of these opinions and thoughts and use them for your own personal use. That's why I have a disclaimer. But anyway, as we all know, life is short and we need to learn to enjoy every little thing that comes our way and be thankful for it. And that means even getting out of bed or having a place to sleep and getting up. I mean, those are just so many things. I mean, I should have made just a list of all the things I'm thankful for, but then that would have been like a 2-part podcast. But I'm sure you don't want to hear me that much. But oh my gosh, hello. I'm going to talk about something that I should have already said at the very beginning. And we had a winner for the favorite episode giveaway. And it was Dale from Utah. And congratulations, Dale. They have already been contacted and hopefully already gotten the $50 gift card from Amazon. But they said their favorite episode was Winner and Losers. Yes, winners and losers. Yes, I have a podcast about winners and losers. And that podcast was aired June 10th of 2025. And it was episode 176 in case any of you are interested on hearing that podcast. And Dale, I thank you again, Dale. I am hoping I am pronouncing your name correctly, from Utah. Said that their favorite episode was Winners to Losers because it taught, I'm just going to read it, what they wrote. Because it taught me that everyone is and has the potential to be a winner in all aspects of their lives. It's all about the mindset. And if you truly believe that you can achieve anything, then that goes to show that you are a winner. So congratulations again. I actually announced the winner on Monday in a 5-minute podcast. But I wanted to announce it to everyone else who listens on Thursdays. And thank you again. And I just want to say I'm so happy for Dale. And I hope that they enjoyed the Amazon gift card and buy themselves something nice or buy something for someone nice, or hopefully for someone who's nice to them. But anyway, congratulations again. So back to the podcast. I'm sorry, I flip and flop. So to new listeners, you need to know that about me. And again, let me just explain. If you are a new listener, I just want to give you a heads up that my brain goes in all sorts of places. And sometimes it leads me into another topic that doesn't even go with a certain podcast description. Not always, but I may randomly do this. This is called switch tracking. It's a communication pattern where my conversation goes from one topic to another. And I'm sure a lot of people I know have this, and I didn't know. That's just how my mind works. So I can shift from one thing to the other, but I always go back to the main topic. I just don't want to lose anyone from listening. So don't be impressed and say, whoa, she's smart. No, I had to look that up because I knew what I had was something, going on in my head. And I had to look it up, like I said, but I love talking about anything and everything in life. And yes, sometimes I have problems concentrating on certain things. I can honestly tell you, I will never forget a face, but I will forget a name. I don't remember which podcast it was a few weeks ago, and I'm talking, and then I randomly said, I'm going on a cruise, just out of nowhere. So apparently my mind was elsewhere, like going on a cruise, which we did and had a great time. My husband and I went with my sister and my brother-in-law, and talk about so much fun. I mean, we had deep conversations and lots of laughs, and I mean a lot of laughs. And to top it off with the switch tracking, there's a sprinkle of ADHD in there. So I do try to write most of my notes. I have side notes and I have a script. Otherwise, I technically would be all over the place. So back to forgiving. And if you have stayed with me this long, congratulations, and I thank you. But forgiving, it is one of the hardest things for people to do. I know it's hard for me. It's become easier, especially I'm in the wrong and I know I'm in the wrong. I need to think about it first. And I may ponder for a few days, even weeks. It's like, wait, I did do something wrong. So I'll share a story with you in a minute, but we may have lived through some crazy stuff in our life. And because of sometimes our thoughts and our minds and the way we feel about certain things, religion, political, anything, because those are the two main things where people will butt heads with. And it's no es bueno. Now I'm going to tell you, or I'm going to ask you is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you, what do you think is the number one thing that can hurt a relationship? I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Did you have time to think about it? Yes, of course, because I knew exactly what it was when I looked that up. Betrayal. Betrayal from a close relationship. Now, this isn't just an intimate relationship with a spouse or your better half. This could be a family member who has lied to you, or someone you work with, or even a neighbor. There is nothing worse for me to be lied to in my book. I just don't do lies. So if you choose to lie to me, you better be a really, really good actor to do this, because I just don't like lies. And usually I can, just to tell you, to make sure you're good at it, because I can smell a lie. I can feel it. I definitely sense a lie a mile away. How? Because I have lied about certain things in my life. When I was younger, when you're a dumb teen, not that all teens are dumb, everybody take a deep breath, but we do silly things. So when I was younger, I know I lied. Okay, maybe in my 20s too. Well, okay, maybe into my 30s too. Nothing major, just lies to get myself out of something or going someplace. But I will tell you, I never did use my kids. These parents that say, oh, well, they're running a fever, when they really weren't. You hear the kid screaming in the background like, woo! I'd never used any family member to say, oh, well, they're sick, so we can't show up. But I'm not any horrible lie. I guess white lies. If you don't want your kids to learn to lie, then we shouldn't lie. Kids will learn to lie from watching adults and thinking, well, if mom and dad can do it, or grandma and grandpa, I guess I can too. But no, because then you're going to have to teach them how to say, I am sorry and please forgive me. Again, forgiving is such a hard thing, and being able to ask for forgiveness is very hard. It really is. Why? Why do you think that is so? Why? It makes us feel vulnerable to our flaws and sometimes our self-esteem or even our ego, that we made we messed up and now we have to go and apologize. We may start thinking, what if they don't forgive us? We must remember we won't know unless we try. Now, asking for forgiveness isn't forgetting what happened. As we all know, something tragic could have happened to you or to someone you love by another human being. And you say, I'm going to forgive them. But inside, you will not forget. We never will forget the pain. But again, life is short. And if something should happen to that person and you want to forget, you can start off by at least forgiving. You may not forget it, but hopefully it'll make you feel better for forgiving that person. Or forgiveness is just, again, as a child, we are learned to do the right thing, or we should be. And forgiveness, you may not be able to forgive yourself for not trying to ask for forgiveness. I hope I haven't confused you any, but sometimes I have a tendency of doing that too. Forgiving is like letting go of that resentment, because if you can't, you literally will hold on to that, and you will continuously think about what hurt they may have caused you, or you may have caused them. This works two ways. What if you are the one who is needing forgiveness because you actually did something to them? Although don't think that it's easy for them to come and ask you for forgiveness. Because again, what you're feeling, sometimes you're angry and you have that resentment and that hatred towards someone, but you didn't do anything. And yet it may be easy to move on, because some people can just move on and forget what just happened and it's never mentioned again. But deep inside, you do have it inside. When we can't forgive someone, that's not good. That's not good for our health. Honestly, it keeps you unhealthy, just the thinking of it. Now in Proverbs 27:3, it says, a stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but resentment is heavier than both. What does that mean? That means that us holding on to this resentment, again, can harm us. It can, and a lot of people think, no, I'm fine. But in the back of your mind, you keep that hate, or hate does develop because you can't forgive someone. And it could be from words. And I think I have another podcast where I've talked about forgiveness, because as they say, they say that saying, what is it? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But they do hurt. Words can hurt so bad. And sometimes we just blurt out. I am notorious for blurting things out. Ask my family. I am notorious for saying things. Here's the story. So an incident happened this past week, or 2 weeks ago. But anyway, with someone very dear to me. And I'm like, why are you talking about this? Like, let's move on. I don't want to talk about this because I didn't want to talk about it. And it had something to do with revelations. I mean, I know it's going to happen, but is it in my lifetime? I don't know. I've said revelations is happening now. If you look up all the stuff that's going on, some people think revelation's going to happen all in one day. I think we're living it. So someone mentioned it and I said, Satan really gets happy when we talk about this stuff. He gets pleasure. He knows when we don't forgive someone, he gets pleasure. And he gets pleasure when we talk about negative things that will happen. Now, I have always heard as a Christian that Satan is associated with causing or intensifying depression and sadness through oppression and lies and just being mean, stupid. So I laughed because my daughter said that I don't like the word stupid, and my granddaughter called Satan stupid. And my daughter said, that's okay. Yeah, that's the only person you can call stupid. Anyway, back to Satan. But anyway, so when this happens, I believe that we become prisoners within ourselves when we start just talking about it. Well, anyway, so I tell the person, I really don't want to talk about it. Satan gets pleasure out of us talking about this. And, as long as we have faith with God, our walk with God, we're going to be good. We're going to be okay. Well, I wasn't sure if that upset them or not because I didn't hear back from them. So I left it. And then I told my wonderful daughter-in-law about it. And she said, yeah, and Satan gets pleasure out of knowing that it upsets or breaks relationships too. And I thought, damn it. Oops. She's right. So I pulled up my big girl panties and I picked up the phone and I called and I told them. I didn't say I was sorry because I was just speaking my mind. I just wanted to say, I love you and I miss talking to you. No, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but that's how simple it was. And then we talked for about 20 minutes. Just chatted about anything and everything. So it is hard. Forgiveness is hard. It does make us vulnerable and because it causes grief. But when we can seek some reconciliation, it is possible. But we can do that forgiveness. We can. But we have to want to. It's about taking a deep breath. Now, let's say you do ask someone to forgive you for doing something, saying something, that betrayal, that lie. And you just, it is right to forgive them. Of course, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That is true. And I do believe that too. We have to learn from our mistakes and hopefully they will learn from their mistakes. But being kind to each other is actually the best thing we can do. Being kind to one another. How many times have you said something and as soon as it came out of your mouth, you were like, oh. It's kind of like Ralphie on Christmas Story. When he says, oh, fudge. But it wasn't fudge that he said. We have all done that and we will continue in life. But as soon as we know that we are wrong, we do have to ask for forgiveness. Now, there's this guy that loves us so much that he has forgiven us for our sins. But that doesn't give us the A-OK to continue to ask for forgiveness every time we lie or do something that may hurt someone. Now, we can hurt someone physically and mentally. Now, you think that by lying or being betrayed, hey, I didn't lay a hand on him. Physically, but mentally, that takes a toll. It can cause depression, eating disorders, so many things. But asking for forgiveness can help so much. But yet again, asking for forgiveness is hard. It's not an easy thing to do. Sometimes I know that, again, is so hard to do. So for Thanksgiving, Christmas, like I said, the holidays are they're almost, well, today is Thanksgiving, or whenever you hear this, I don't, probably past Thanksgiving, but it is a hard thing to do. But family is everything. And unfortunately, some of us did not grow up in happy families. I was truly blessed to have a good, happy family. Yeah, we have quirks. I mean, of course, what kind of family would it be if we didn't? Um, but those people who did not, I apologize. I'm sorry that you had to go through something like that. But I know that you have the ability to believe in yourself and believe that there is a better future for you. Like the podcast that won the winners and losers. If you really can achieve knowing I got this, I can live a better life than what I was raised or what I had, then you can do it. But you got to believe. You really do. And I believe in you. And I have faith. And faith, again, faith can get you so far. So far. So if your kids talk to you and say something to you that is hurtful, sometimes they're just expressing themselves. But when they come and say, Mom, I didn't mean that. Or Dad, I didn't mean that. Or even a friend. You know what I said earlier? I didn't mean that. I was just talking out of anger. And sometimes we take frustrations out on people because they're easy targets, because they're kind, they're nice. And unfortunately, people do take advantage of that too. But anyway, today's thing on forgiveness, just know that God loves you. He will forgive you for anything, but you have to be able to mean it when you ask for forgiveness. You can't keep doing things or allowing someone to do this to hurt your feelings, to hurt you mentally or physically, because you deserve more. But again, with the holidays coming up, and if you haven't spoken to family members or friends in a while, pick up the phone. Send them an email. Just say, hey, haven't talked to you. Just need to ask you to forgive me when I said what I did. And if they don't forgive you, then at least you know you tried. There are so many people who lose loved ones and they never got to say I was sorry. And again, life is short. So don't give Satan that pleasure. You deserve better than that. So that is my opinion why forgiving is so hard. Now it is time to say all good things must come to an end. I will no longer, this is my last podcast for WDJY 99.1 FM in Metro Atlanta. I will no longer be on the radio by my choice, not theirs, but my choice. It's bittersweet, and I want to thank everyone at WDJY, the producers, the staff. You have no idea how many people are involved. And the sad thing is I never met any of these wonderful people that put me on the radio because they're in Georgia and I'm here in Texas. But they listened to my podcast and asked me if I would be interested in being on the radio. So I have actually been on WDJY 99.1 FM Metro Atlanta for 2 full years, which is crazy. That's how time flies. I can't believe this is my 4th year of podcasting, and 2 of the years were with the radio station. And I want to thank everyone in Metro Atlanta area for listening. I appreciate text receive. I received emails, and I appreciate all of you who allowed me to spend time with you on Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. in Atlanta. Again, it's bittersweet. It's great. It was fun. I can say, yeah, I was on the radio, which was really kind of cool. But it was just time for me to not do that. It became more of a I don't mean this to mean it was I was losing the fun of doing a podcast. Let's put it that way. I felt like, because I wanted to, but I would forget, I got sloppy with forgetting to put certain podcasts in. I felt like it became more of a job, and it was, I guess. But I want to thank everyone at the radio station again, because now you may have a 10-minute podcast and you won't have to spend 28 minutes of your life listening to me. And I will still be having podcasts weekly. If I take a little break, I will let everyone know, go back and listen to some old podcasts. But I will still be on all podcast streaming platforms. You can listen to me, and I will attempt to continue to have a new podcast weekly on Thursdays, because don't ask me why I picked Thursdays. I might do it Wednesday. I could do it any day of the week. But luckily, when I submit my podcast, you put the date, and a Thursday just seemed like a good day. So anyway, I want to thank everyone at the radio station again, and all the listeners in Metro Atlanta area for listening to Ticket to Life for the past 2 years and allowing me to be part of your life. And thank you for all the employees at WDJY 99.1 FM. And until next week, this is Henrie. I hope that if you are celebrating Thanksgiving, I hope you eat all that yummy food that is on the table. I plan to eat everything that we will have today. So, I don't know why I can't lose weight. But anyway, this is Henrie. And until, I guess next week, and I will talk to you then. I will be praying for you, because we all need prayer. And please, if you can find it in your heart, ask for forgiveness if you know that you have offended or hurt someone. Life is too short. So please, please, please go find your blessings. And thank you again for listening. See you next week.